Hello, students. This is Mr. Dow, and today we are going to be talking about a different way to graph quadratic equations. Before we get started, I just have a couple people to shout out. Shout out to Mariah, Jada, Landon, Zaylee, and Ashley for coming to my office hours this morning. I'm looking forward, hopefully, to seeing some of you in the afternoon and some of you on Wednesday. Oh, I guess you guys see this on Wednesday. So I'm recording this on Monday, so shout out to those coming Monday morning. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Okay, we're going to go over a different way of how to graph parabolas, which is our graphs that, again, look something like that. Okay, very crude drawing, I know. I will say this is the last video I intend to be using my mouse with. I'm going to get my Elmo, so things will move a lot smoother. Anyways, let's say we had the equation x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 2. Okay, this is a plus sign, I apologize. So x squared plus 3x plus 2, and I remember there was a way for us to factor this using the big X method. We would label our coefficients. We have an imaginary 1 here. We've got a 3 here. And here C is 2. Okay? And the reason, again, another quick hit, is another reason why this is 1 is because when we have a variable x with no coefficient, what hidden coefficient is there? 1. Okay? So we have 1 there. We put A times C at the top. We're going to put B on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to list out all the factors of 2. And I believe that because 2 is a prime number, we only have 2 factors, 1 and 2. Do those numbers add up to 3? Yes, they do. So those are going to be our factors, okay? So we know another way we can write this equation is y equals x. And we have a 1 and a 2. Am I going to put x plus 1 or x minus 1? Well, when it's just the number, remember it's basically positive. So we're just going to put positive. So we're going to do x plus 1 times x plus 2. Okay. And voila, we were done. And another thing we can do is we can actually find our zeros. And I told you that if the entire equation is equal to 0, then what must each parentheses be equal to? Each one must also equal to 0. So we're going to put x plus 1 equals 0, and we're going to have x plus 2 equals 0, okay? Here I can subtract 1 from each side. I'll get x equals negative 1. Here, if I subtract 2 from each side, I will get x equals negative 2. Now, what do we notice about our solutions negative 1 and negative 2 compared to our original equation? Well, if we look at the original equation, we have positive 1 and positive 2. Our solutions are negative 1 and negative 2. So again, just like what we covered with graphing today, okay, where we had vertex form, anytime it's in the parentheses, we must flip the sign. And because here both of them are actually in parentheses, we're going to flip both of the signs. So we're going to get negative 1, negative 2. And before I taught you, and we would be done with this, right? Well, the reason why we do this is because it makes graphing really easy. Let me show you. We have plus 1, plus 2. We know the solutions. We have to flip the sign to negative 1, negative 2. What you can do is you can go to your graph. We have the y-axis and the x-axis. Now notice, we have x is here. So we're going to go to our x-axis. We're going to go to negative 1, which I'll put here, negative 1, and negative 2, which I'll put here. And because we have these two, we can actually know that our graph is going to intercept on the x-axis. So those are going to be two x-intercepts at negative 1 and negative 2. And Is this entire thing going to be positive or negative? Well, let's see. Is there a number before here for a, our a coefficient? No, there is not. But when we don't have a number, what hidden number is there? 1. Is 1 positive or is 1 negative? I believe 1 is positive. So if it's positive, we're going to be smiling. And we're going to have our parabolas open upwards, okay? And so it's going to go through those 2 points. And we are going to graph it as such, okay? So that is actually the reason why I taught you guys how to factor. I'm going to leave it here. Feel free to pause it, take notes. I'm about to clear it off. Oh boy, I don't have the option to clear everything. I guess I can spam this button. Man. All right, guys. So, I'm going to go over one more problem, okay? Let's say actually, I'll do 2 more problems, okay? And the factoring, I actually don't expect you to do right now. I know it's been a while. Hopefully, you guys remember how to do it, okay? I don't want you to forget. It's a very important skill. But for right now, I'm actually not going to ask you. I just want you guys to understand how to graph these. So let's say we have, oh no, we're going to do 2, and in parentheses, we're going to have minus 3, x minus 3, I should say. We're going to have x plus 3. Let's say we have that. Actually, I will do x plus 4. I think that'll be better. Okay. And here, let's say we have y equals negative 3. And here we'll do x. Let's do plus 2. And let's do plus 6, okay? So, if I want to figure out my first, what we are going to do is we are going to set the equation equal to 0, okay? And I told you if the entire thing equals 0, what must each parentheses also equal? 0. So if I set x equals 3 to 0, if I set x plus 4 equals to 0, I can solve this by here we have plus 3 from each side. We're going to get x, we're going to have x equals 3. And here we're going to subtract 4 from each side. And we're going to have x equals negative 4. Okay? And now, what we can do is we can go to our graph and we can plot 3 on the x-axis. So this is going to be 3. And we're going to plot negative 4, which will be... My entire screen just disappeared. Cool. Well, y'all have it still. I believe my x's were positive 3 and negative 4. And so if we keep it up, we're going to have positive 3 here. We're going to have negative 4 here. I believe my original equation was y equals 2, x minus 3, x plus 4. Okay. So, now we know our graph is going to go through these 2 points. Okay, so we can go ahead and plot there. We can plot there. Now, our a here, our multiplier, our coefficient at the beginning, is that positive or negative? So we have a positive 2. So if it's positive, we're happy, we're smiling, and we're going up, right? Oh, there it goes. Wonderful. I'm really glad it just showed up right then. So, hopefully you can see through all this nonsensical mess, but we're going to be going up, okay? Now, let's look at this right here. If we're going to set the equation equal to 0, we have x plus 2, x plus 6, we have 3 in front as well. And now if the entire thing equals 0, what must each parentheses be equal to? 0. Wow, I'm really bad at drawing. Anyways, if I subtract 2 from each side, I can get x equals -2. If I subtract 6 from each side, I can get x equals -6. And if I plot this on a graph, we're going to get our x-axis. We have -2 here. We have -6 over here. We know it's going to go through these two graphs, these 2 points, I apologize. Now we must ask ourselves, is this going to be facing upwards or downwards? Well, let's look at our coefficient, our multiplier out in front. Here it's -3. When we have a negative number, we are going to be frowning, and our parabola is going to go down, okay? So we're going to face down. So I know it looks something, I'm going to redraw that. I know it looks something like this. Again, y'all, I apologize for the crude drawings. I am doing this with a mouse, okay? Okay, so I'm going to let y'all take that in, pause it, feel free to take notes. And I'll go ahead and undo all this so I can do one more problem for y'all. And there's got to be a better option for this. Okay, I'm just going to work with this right side. Oh, come on. Oh, boy. Okay. Let's say we have an equation like y equals x times x plus 2. Okay? Here, if the entire thing equals 0, and remember, if x is multiplying this, we can treat it like it's in its own parentheses, okay? So if the entire thing is equal to 0, what must each parentheses be equal to? 0. So, here is, do we have to do anything to solve for x? I believe x is already by itself, so we actually don't. Here, we still don't have x by itself. We have a positive 2. Opposite of positive is minus, so we're going to subtract 2 from each side. We have -2. So anytime you have a variable alone like this multiplying, we're going to go to our x-axis. We're going to go to 0 and -2. And we know our points are going to go through there. Because we don't have anything out in front, what hidden number is there? 1, which is positive. Positive means we're smiling. So we're going to go up. Okay? Students, you're going to find a check for understanding after this. After that, there should be a Google document with a couple questions and graphs. The delta math is going to be you using the x-intercepts right here to find graphs. X-intercepts and A coefficients, okay? I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Keep up the great work. This is Mr. Dow. Goodbye, y'all.